The small town of Missouri City, Missouri and Casey Spooky Spectacular gave us some heated competition, but when it came down to it, Jack Merkle and Vorian Prime finally took racing while Dawson, Rayas and Shake Me took his second freestyle win. Tonight, the dirt track in Charlotte will determine our round 8 champions. Who will they be? This is the Bricks Rod Semi-Realistic Points Series, and this is Monster Jam! Hello everybody and welcome back to the Rorsrps channel. My name is Preston Vieira and I'll be your host as the Indy Madness Tour goes big here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and our 16 trucks take on the Monster Blog Truck Fest track. We have some absolutely massive obstacles tonight, sure to shake things up with yet another huge over-under style layout. But before we see it in action, let's check out our competitors, all gunning for that Dubby Racing Championship tonight. Kicking off the racing competition, Giovanna Hayes in Megalodon Fire will be facing off against Darren Migues in Wolf's Head. And as Matthew Hood in Rage taking on Colt Durham in Plain Krazy. Jim Koehler in Megabyte will face off against Corey Fisher in Blacksmith, and it's Jimmy Creten in Bounty Hunter taking on Bobby Holman in Shadow the Hedgehog. Reigning racing champion right now, Jack Merkle Vorian Prime is going to take on George 20D10 in Chillin Villain. Then it's the Sudden Impact Racing team face-off here with Colt, Pecka, and Amsoil Shock Therapy taking on Chuckie, Pauken, and Excaliber. Kaylyn Mowery in Jailbird is going to take on Dan Dahlgren in Iron Outlaw, and closing out round 1, Coty Saucier in Skeledragon is going to face off against Dawson Rayas in Shake Me. Let's jump right into the round 1 action, kicking things off with Darren Migues in Wolf's Head on your left. Going to be taking on Giovanna Hayes in Megalodon Fire. Giovanna leading the tour right now in racing points. We'll see if she can keep that up tonight, get another racing championship under her belt. She has 2 right now from show 1 this season and from 2 shows ago in Truckton, Colorado, where she took the double down. That is a very, very tough thing to earn. She managed to do it once, nearly getting it in the first show of the season as well. We'll see if she can do it again here tonight in Charlotte, North Carolina, as our trucks get ready to get staged for our first race. Darren Migues definitely looking for some points. He is the back of the pack, the bottom spot on the tour, of course, excluding Skeledragon, who has 0 points to his name right now as a sub, looking to earn as many as possible, hopefully a win and a second show, and a shot at earning more points throughout the season. Both trucks staged, ready to go. We're going green for race number 1, and you'll get a look at this awesome Monster Blog Truck Fest track. Giovanna looking decent heading around this first big sweeping turn. We're not going to be able to see who's in the lead until we get back to the finish line at the end of the race. It's going to be close, though. Giovanna trying to get that truck down on all 4 tires, keep it controlled. And this is one of the toughest turns right here, having to switch back before the finish line. Looking good for both of these drivers. Looks like Darren Migues has the lead right now as we head into this final lap. Giovanna not the cleanest landing. That is going to slow her down a lot. She needs to pick up and make up a lot of ground heading into this final section before the finish line. Big leap from Darren Migues over the over section. And heading into the semi-final straight, it looks like Darren Migues has the lead still. Who's going to take it after this little switchback? It is close to the line, but Darren Migues going to take it. Actually, about a truck length there between the 2 of them. Looked pretty neck and neck heading into the turn, but Darren Migues in Wolf's Head going to knock out the racing points leader right now. Giovanna Hayes in Megalodon Fire. Beautifully done. Great pass from Darren Migues. We'll see if he can keep that up all night, potentially get his first championship, start making up some of the points that he hasn't made throughout the season. Colt Durham in Plain Krazy coming out next. Talk about making up points. Colt burned it down at Casey Spooky Spectacular, getting second in both competitions. Matthew Hood in Rage on your right. He's returning after a substitution from Casey Spooky Spectacular. He lost points loser in Truckton, Colorado, looking to make up some more points for himself. World Finals not looking great at the moment, but if he can get a couple double downs before the end of the season, he might be able to do it. Launching down the track for these two. The first time they're getting a pass on this track tonight. We'll see what they can do. Matthew Hood in Rage gonna head over. Looks like he might be a little bit behind, but we don't know yet. We'll see if we can get these trucks to the finish line. If anybody's gonna roll it over, potentially DNF, hopefully not. That would be a 0 for racing points here in round 1 if you DNF. Matthew Hood struggling in that first switchback, cutting it really tight in the turn, but he's struggling. Big bounce. Another one, just like Giovanna Hayes, just happens to be a fellow Team Scream driver. Both of them struggling on that start of the second lap here. Cole Durham and playing Krazy, looking clean. He did have a bit of a rough landing there, kicking off this second lap, but he's still looking to be in the lead. And as we come to this final switchback, Colt Durham looks like he's gonna hold it. And to the line, absolutely. Colt Durham playing Krazy, continuing his run from last show. He burned it down in Missouri City, Missouri. Like I said, second place in both competitions. He wants to get first here tonight, get his first championship under his belt. Can he do it is the question. Next out on the track, another Team Scream driver. We've had Team Scream in all 3 of our first races. Jim Koehler in Megabyte. On your right, one-time racing champion. He's going to be taking on Corey Fisher in Blacksmith, looking for his first racing championship. He's only made it out of round 1 once before this season. He's looking to do it again tonight, though. Can he make it happen is the question. Both trucks staged, ready to go for our 3rd race of the night, and we are green. Can Team Scream save face a little bit here in round 1, get Megabyte into round 2? We'll have to watch and see what happens. Corey Fisher has been on a tear recently. He needs more points, and he is intending on earning them for sure. Big bounce, though, on that landing before that turn. Struggling a little bit. Looks like he is behind at the moment. We'll see as we head into this final turn. Jim Koehler, Megabyte, nice and clean. And with a better landing than the other Team Scream drivers, I guess the seat time in his career gets him to that point. But he is killing it right now with the lead. Can Corey Fisher make up the ground before the end of the race? I'm not sure, honestly. Coming around this turn. Nicely done. Corey Fisher having to deal with that roller in the turn is not going to help. Jim Koehler, big lead, and he is just going to hold it to the line. Jim Koehler, Megabyte. On to round 2 tonight. Awkward landing there, and an awkward landing for Corey Fisher as well as he goes down. Corey Fisher not going to move on to round 2 tonight and is going to struggle on the landing. Rough hit, little body damage. We'll see how he does in the freestyle competition later tonight. Bobby Holman in Shadow the Hedgehog coming out next. He's going to be on your left. Jimmy Creten in Bounty Hunter on your right. Jimmy Creten has had a shot at the final round once before to Jim Koehler in Megabyte, and he took the loss. He doesn't want to do that tonight. He wants to see the Dubby final round once more, this time coming out on top with the racing championship. Bobby Holman looking to put an end to all those dreams with his first time in the Dubby final round. We'll see what happens as we go green. Launching off of that starting pad. Massive obstacles out here at this dirt track at Charlotte tonight. We'll see how they treat these drivers in freestyle. So far in the racing competition, this massive overjump. These drivers seem to be loving it. It's not doing too much damage on these trucks. We love to see it. Able to keep these trucks running nice and clean for the next round or potentially for the freestyle competition if you take a loss. Looks like Bobby Holman has a lead right now as we head into the final switchback of lap 1. Absolutely going to hold that too. A little bit of a sloppy landing for both drivers. I'd love to see these drivers start getting some downsides on the landing. You really got to hit that jump with some speed to clear it though. The over-under looks like they might be a little neck and neck. Bobby Holman with a sloppy landing. Not sure what happened there. I missed the takeoff, but the landing is gonna hurt him a little bit. Jimmy Creten catching up as we head into this final switchback. Around it we go. Jimmy Creten gonna take it to the line, making it into round 2 tonight. There's a downside, putting the pressure on the pedal this time as we head to the finish line. Jimmy Creten and Bounty Hunter on to round 2 tonight. Bobby Holman, once again, I mean, not the greatest racer overall, but once again, not making it out of round 1 tonight. Someone who has made it out of round 1, made it into the finals a couple times, Jack Merkle in Vorian Prime, your reigning racing champion, looking to do it again here tonight in Charlotte. He's going to be taking on George 20D10 in Chillin Villain. Chillin Villain, another one of those trucks that is struggling for points in general, but he has been subbed out once before for show 4 this season. He's looking to not get subbed out tonight. He just needs to stay away from that points loser position, get some points behind him, finish the night strong. We'll see what happens as we launch down the track for these two. Jack Merkle, great racer. Like I said, he's made it up into the final round twice this season. And the semifinals, even more than that. We got 3 times just in the first 4 shows, once after that. And then, of course, his final round appearances, you've got to make it through the semis. So we'll see what happens here tonight. If he can get into the semis once again, that's just more points on his side. It looks like George 20D10 has the lead right now, though, as we go over the finish line. Sloppy landing for Jack Merkle in Vorian Prime. That's going to slow him down even more. But he has this wide open section here. He can really put the power down, potentially making up the ground. Big leap from George 20D10 in Chillin Villain. Looking for his first racing win of the season. Can he get it tonight? Still holding on to that lead as we head into the switchback. Jack Merkle looking to put the pressure on him, but it's not going to happen. Chillin Villain, George 20D10 for the first time this season, out of round 1. Knocking out the reigning racing champion at that. We can throw that title out the window. Who's going to get it tonight? It will be a new champion, at least different champion from what we saw last show. Chuckie Pauken in Excaliber coming out next. He's going to be on your left, taking on teammate Pecka in Amsoil Shock Therapy. Both of these drivers from the Sudden Impact Racing camp. We'll see what happens here tonight. Very similar setups. I would even say same setup on both of these trucks. Very curious to see who's going to come out on top in this race. Really just comes down to driving style when both of the trucks are exactly the same. I believe that was Pecka burning it down in neutral there. Showing out for the fans, getting them hyped for this race. We are down to the floor. Who's going to take it to the finish line tonight? Chuckie Pauken getting started with that awesome wide open section in the back of the track. Pecka looks to be a little bit behind heading into our first semifinal straight. Yeah, it looks like Chuckie Pauken is in the lead coming around our first switchback. He's going to hold that to the line. Pecka needs to go hard here in the second lap. Luckily, again, we have this big wide open section. He can really put the power down here as long as he doesn't spin out, losing the rear end a little bit there in that first sweeping turn. Little crooked from Chuckie Pauken over the over section, but he gets it gathered back up. He's good to go. We're close here in this semifinal straight. Last turn, super tight from Chuckie Pauken. And it's going to be Chuckie in Excaliber taking it to the finish line. Massive leap from Pecka, but that's not going to bring him back tonight. Down here in round 1, Chuckie Pauken making it into round 2 tonight for the 4th time this season. See what he can do as we move on through the night. But next up, Darren in Iron Outlaw. He's going to be on your left, taking on Kaylyn Mowery in Jailbird. Jailbird, another one-time Dubby racing champion, took the win in Arizona. She wants to do it here tonight in Charlotte. Darren looking to make up some points, really just falling farther and farther behind overall throughout the season, just kind of struggling with points. I really like this truck. I would love to see him do better. It's just not happening so far. I don't know if he's struggling to control it or what, especially from what we saw from Scarlet Bandit last season. Scarlet took a couple championships. I believe this is the exact same setup as Scarlet Bandit. Darren just struggling here in the racing competition as well. Kaylyn Mowery in Jailbird really throwing it down here in Charlotte with the lead at the moment. She's going to be the first one to get into the switchback. Darren maybe making up a little bit of ground though. We'll see how he does here in this second lap the opposite side of the track. A sloppy landing there for Dan is going to slow him down yet again. Kaylyn Mowery through this wide open section, looking good as we head into this little hop here. Definitely cleaner than Dan Dahlgren in Iron Outlaw in his first pass. Yeah, big lead for Kaylyn Mowery in Jailbird. She's going to hold that around this final switchback, and to the line we go. Kaylyn Mowery in Jailbird, one step closer to Dubby Racing Championship number 2. Can she get it tonight here in Charlotte, North Carolina? Dan Dahlgren, not the track for him, I guess. I guess none of the tracks are for him this season. We'll see if he can make it back at another point to give it another shot. Looks like World Finals is out of reach for Dan. Next out on the track, Coty Saucier making his substitute debut in Skeledragon. Dawson Rayas in Shake Me coming out on your left to take him on here in round 1. Skeledragon, known in season 1 as the first substitute to take a racing championship, first substitute to earn a second show, and the first substitute qualified into the World Finals. We'll see what he can do here this season. Dawson Rayas and Shake Me, not the best racer. It may be a clean-cut win for Coty Saucier in this Skeledragon truck. As we go green, we'll see what happens. Down the track we go. Coty Saucier with that little hop, heading into the sweeping turn, looking good right now. We'll have to see how the rest of this race goes, though. I don't know between these two who's going to come out on top. We haven't seen Coty in the Skeledragon truck at all this season. Little struggle in that first turn. Looks like Dawson Rayas has the lead right now. Around that final turn, Coty Saucier behind Dawson. Nice clean landing. Same for Coty Saucier though, and Coty has that wide open section. He can really put the power down, get this truck hopefully to gain a little bit of ground on Dawson. Big leap from Dawson Rayas. Coty, no slouch either. We'll see what happens here as we're in the final straight. Dawson with the lead right now. Is he going to slip in this final switchback? Super tight from Dawson Rayas. Coty not going to make it happen. Dawson Rayas makes it up into round 2 for only the 3rd time this season. Beautifully done. What a pass from Dawson. We'll see how he does in round 2. But if you guys are enjoying tonight's racing competition, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We got new shows just like this one every Saturday. And we're coming up on the end of the season. World Finals 2 coming very, very soon. Be sure to subscribe, hit that like button, stick around to catch it. Also check out the Rorsrps store. Link down in the description or in the card in the top right corner. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is a great night so far. Let's check out our round 2 bracket and keep the night going. First up for the racing competition is going to be Darren Migues in Wolf's Head taking on Colt Durham and playing Krazy. Then it's Jim Koehler taking on Jimmy Creten once again. Chillin Villain, George 20v10, Excaliber going to face off. Then it's Jailbird taking on Dawson Rayas in Shake Me. See what happens as the night works itself out. Again, kicking off round 2 is Darren Migues in Wolf's Head taking on Colt Durham in playing Krazy. Colt, now no stranger to the final round. He just saw it last show. He wants to get there again tonight. Darren Migues in Wolf's Head. This is the farthest up the bracket he's been at all this season. Has not made it out of round 1 once until tonight. Of course, he did get subbed out for 3 shows straight from show 2 to show 4. But we'll see what happens here as we go green, kicking off the second round. Darren Migues getting a nice bit of air there coming off of that starting pad. Ooh, a little sloppy from Colt Durham. That's going to slow him down a little bit. Darren Migues may have this one early in this race. We'll see what happens through the second lap. Yeah, it's going to be Darren Migues so far. Colt really trying to make up some ground, and he does. They're just about neck and neck coming to the finish line. Colt Durham with the lead heading into the second lap. Nice turn from Darren Migues. I thought he was going to cut in a little bit. I thought he was going to lose it. Clip one of those turning obstacles and end his night early here in the racing competition. We'll see what happens here as we come to the line. Darren Migues looking to make up the ground. They are neck and neck Heading into the switchback, Colt, a sloppy landing, slows him down way too much. Darren Migues in Wolf's Head, on to semifinals tonight. Wow. That is an interesting turn of events for sure. Darren Migues, first time out of round one, first time in the semifinals. Wow. Moving on to our next race of the night, the Gyms going head to head here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Jim Koehler in Megabyte on your right, Jimmy Creten in Bounty Hunter on your left. These two have faced off twice, once in the Dubby final round, and I believe in round 2 in KC Spooky Spectacular just last show, Missouri City, Missouri. We'll see what happens here as they line up to go head to head once again. Who will come out on top tonight? Both trucks staged, ready to go, and we are green. Both trucks with similar approaches to that starting pad, riding that ramp face all the way down. Neither one of them catching air like we saw Darren Migues do. Jim Creten clipping that backflip ramp just a little bit. Doesn't seem to upset the truck much, but you gotta be careful. We saw Iron Outlaw, another 2 Extreme driver, just do that not too long ago, and that messed up his first lap bad. Coming around the turn, a little sloppy from Jim Koehler. Jimmy Creten with the lead right now, but he has a sloppy landing. Jim Koehler maybe off to an early lead here in this second lap with this wide open straight and Jimmy's sloppy landing. We'll see what happens here as we head to the semifinal straight. Jim Koehler with the lead. Final turn, it looks like he's gonna hold it, but Jim Koehler's out wide. Jimmy Creten nice and tight to the line. It's gonna be Jim Koehler in Megabyte with a nice little bit of a lead on Jimmy Creten. I mean, considering the mistake in that final turn going out wide. Jimmy Creten, I mean, a veteran to the sport, of course, Jim Koehler too, but really bringing that truck in super tight around that final turning obstacle. Gained him some ground, I'll give him that much. George 20D10 in Chillin Villain coming out next on your right. He's going to be taking on Chuckie Pauken in Excaliber, the only of the sudden impact racing trucks to make it out of round 1 thanks to their face-off. We'll see what happens here as they pull up to the line. George 20D10, not a lot of money riding on this truck. Chillin Villain not making it out of round 1 once this season, but we saw Wolf's Head make it out of round 1 and head up into the semifinals. We'll see what happens here between these two. Chuckie Pauken, definitely the favorite in this race. Around that big sweeping turn from Chuckie Pauken, looking good right now, looking to have a little bit of a lead on George 20D10. Ooh, neck and neck as we head down the semifinal straight and into the switchback. Who's going to take it in the second lap? It's actually a really close race between these two right now. Sloppy landing from Chuckie Pauken. George 20D10 with a nice clean downside. That spells trouble for Chuckie Pauken in Excaliber. Heading through the over-under section is going to be George 20D10, who gets through it first and heads into the semifinal straight ahead of Chuckie Pauken. Chuckie's struggling in this semifinal straight, and it looks like it's all George 20D10 for the first time this season. George, Chillin Villain, on to the semifinals. Big slap wheelie from Chuckie Pauken, trying to save face a little bit, give the fans something to look at. But that is going to end his night. He's down here in round 2. He'll be back for freestyle. At least he didn't close out the night with a DNF. That's always an upside, always a plus. Then it's Dawson Rayas coming out next in Shake Me. He's going to be on your left, taking on Kaylyn Mowery in Jailbird on your right. Again, one-time racing champion Kaylyn Mowery in Jailbird has yet to make it number 2. Can she do it here tonight? She'll have to get through Dawson Rayas, who hasn't made it up into the semifinals but once this season. We'll see if he can do it again here tonight. Both trucks staged, ready to go. We're green, launching down the track. Bit of an awkward start for Dawson Rayas. I'm not sure what that rebound was. I didn't think he caught much air. What was that? Looks to be pretty neck and neck though. Kaylyn Mowery looking good heading into this turn and into the semifinal straight. Ooh, awkward turn there. A lot of drivers going wide. I think it's that roller in the turn making them work for their turn or for that semifinal straight, and it's just not working out for a few of them. Kaylyn Mowery, the newest, added to that list. We'll see how Dawson Rayas does here in this lap, and if he'll bobble and give Kaylyn a chance to come back. Massive leap from Dawson Rayas. Heading into this turn, is he gonna struggle? No, he's keeping it clean, but Kaylyn Mowery does make up the ground throughout the lap. Heading into this final switchback, who's going to take it? Dawson nice and tight. Kaylyn out wide. Dawson struggling, but he's going to take it. And with a rough landing, he is going to roll the truck as well. Dawson Rayas in Shake Me will be in the semifinals, though. Kaylyn Mowery not going to make it happen here tonight. Definitely an upsetting first lap. She's going to have a talk with herself on that one. Don't want to do that in the second round. Semifinals are Darren Migues and Wolf's Head taking on Jim Koehler in Megabyte. Then it's George 20D10 taking on Dawson Rayas in Shake Me. Very, very interesting second race. This one here, though, may be pretty clean cut. Jim Koehler in Megabyte on your left, going to be taking on Darren Migues in Wolf's Head. Again, Wolf's Head has yet to make it out or yet to make it into the semifinals except for this show. This is the only time he's made it past round one. Jim Koehler, used to the pressures of the final round. We'll see what he can do here tonight in Charlotte as we are staged, ready to go. We're kicking off the semifinals. Both trucks, nice clean takeoffs. Darren Migues choosing not to catch air this time off that starting pad. I'm wondering if he thinks that slowed him down a little bit. He could have had a faster pass or what. Looks to be pretty even as we head through that over-under section. Is Darren going to struggle with that roller in the turn? No, he's going to keep it nice and clean. We're neck and neck here heading into this switchback. Beautiful turn from Jim Koehler. He's going to take an early lead in this race, but Darren Migues is not far behind. Both trucks struggling with that landing this time. Big sweeping turn for both drivers. Darren Migues getting a chance to really open that truck up. Is he going to take it to the line, get his first placement in the Dubby final round for the season? Does have to brake check in that turn. That is going to slow him down. He's behind. Jim Koehler, the first one into the final switchback. And Darren Migues is struggling there too. Jim Koehler in Megabyte on to the Dubby final round yet again. Is tonight the night for Dubby Racing Championship number 2 for Jim Koehler. Very interesting as we head into our next round. Before that, though, it's Dawson Rayas in Shake Me. He's going to be on your left, taking on George 20D10 in Chillin Villain. Shake Me, Dawson Rayas suffered some body damage that he does not want to sport heading into the next round. Takes off the body, tries to cut down on some of the repair work. We'll see how that works for him throughout the night, if he's going to have to repair a lot of actual truck pieces. Both trucks staged, ready to go to close out the semifinals. We are green. Either way we go here, we have a first-timer in the Dubby final round. Very, very interesting. Very curious to see how the night is going to go. George 20D10, his first time in the semifinals. Looking to make it to his first time in the Dubby final round. I don't know, man. I mean, this is a very curious race, to say the least. Dawson Rayas looking good. Nice and tight from George 20D10, though. It's pretty neck and neck here. Dawson with a slight lead, but a sloppy landing. George 20D10, nice and clean, getting a big lead on Dawson right now through this wide open section. I don't know if Dawson's going to be able to recover from that. A little bit of a slap wheelie. Is he going to struggle in this roller? No, not too bad, but he seems to be a little too far behind. Can he catch up through this final switchback? Looking tighter than George. It's close to the line. I couldn't even tell. George 20D10 and Chillin Villain is the official call there. George, for the first time this season, Chillin Villain is in the Dubby final round. Getting a shot at the racing title and a shot at some nice looking points here. Jim Koehler in Megabyte is going to be taking on George 20D10 in Chillin Villain to close out our racing competition. Will we have a repeat racing champion or a first timer in the winner's circle? George 20D10, Chillin Villain on your left, Jim Koehler in Megabyte on your right. And if you guys want to get hyped, want to get amped, even more so, I would say, potentially, depending on your tolerance there, check out Dubby Energy for some clean, jitterless energy. You can get 20% off till the end of September. Really short window on this one, guys. Get it while you can. Use code RORSRPS at checkout. They have some absolutely delicious flavors, including my favorite, Beach and Peach. That is a mango white peach cooler flavor. Super juicy, super refreshing, super delicious. Check them out, guys. You do not want to miss out on their limited time flavors. You do not want to miss out on this limited time deal. Again, 20% off until the end of September using code RORSRPS at checkout only at Dubby.gg. All of our drivers pulling up to that starting line, ready for their final round race. Repeat champion or all new, we'll see as we go green. Off of the starting pad we go, both drivers preferring to make full contact with that ramp on the way down. Try to get some speed. Jim Koehler looking to be struggling a little bit through that first sweeping turn, though. He is behind as we head out of the over-under section. Yeah, into this final straight. George 20D10 in the lead right now. Is Jim gonna make up some ground in this switchback? Beautiful turn, but not a bad turn from George either. It's a lot closer though heading into the second lap. And Jim Koehler has that wide open section. Could he make up the ground he needs? George 20D10 going over. Looks like these two are neck and neck right now. This is the type of race you can only get in the Dubby final round. George with a lead. Jim looking to recover some of that ground here in this final switchback. Around we go. No! George 20D10 with his first championship of the season in his first time out of round one. Chillin Villain is your Dubby racing champion here in Charlotte, North Carolina, the dirt track. Burning it down. This is his night. Absolutely burned it down here in Charlotte. Killed it in every round. Really earned his spot. He has been struggling with this truck all season long in both competitions. Tonight, he makes it happen here in the racing competition. Is tonight just his night? Will he be our first Dubby double down since Giovanna Hayes in Megalodon Fire? We will find out very soon. Look at him walking that thing out. George 20D10. I know he's been a little hurt about what's been going on with this truck. Like I said, he's been fighting it all season. He's not liking his performance. You work with what you got, man. Tonight, it worked with him. And he got himself his first Dubby racing champion. One last look at that Chillin Villain truck. Looking great up on top of that backflip ramp. We'll see how he does here in freestyle. And if he can get himself a double down, let's check out our total points after the racing competition. These are updated, including this competition. Let's check it out. Expanding his lead, it's Dawson Rayas in Shake Me with 135 points. Megalodon Giovanna Hayes with only 129 for the night. Jack Merkle Vorian Prime with 125. And Jim Koehler in Megabyte with 118. Colt Pecka Amsoil Shock Therapy with 91. Kaylyn Mowery with 85. Colt Durham with 80. And Bobby Holman in Shadow the Hedgehog with 73. Then it's Chuckie Pauken in Excaliber with 72, tied with Corey Fisher in Blacksmith, again, also with 72. Then it's Dan Dahlgren with 65, and Jimmy Creten, the two extreme trucks neck and neck there, with 63. Then it's our racing champion for the night, George 20D10 with 59, Matthew Hood with 54, Darren Migues in Wolf's Head with 40, and our sub Skeledragon, Coty Saucier with only 2. He needs a lot of points in the freestyle competition. He needs a win if he wants to see a second show. If you guys enjoyed tonight's racing competition, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We got new shows just like this one every Saturday. World Finals coming up very, very soon. This is round 8 out of 10 for our 3 tours. Be sure to hit that like button. Let me know you enjoyed tonight's show. And also hit that end card at the end of the video to go straight to our freestyle competition for tonight's show. One last thing, be sure to check out the RORSRPS store. Link in the description. New products weekly. Be sure to check out our channel partner, Dubby, for some clean, jitterless energy. Once October hits, guys, we are back to 10%, so be sure to head over there, get your limited time 20% off deal using code RORSRPS at checkout. Check out all their flavors, guys. They're absolutely delicious. I haven't tried every single one, but I've tried a lot of them. They're a good brand of energy drinks, and they even have a couple canned options. They give you focus and energy without the jitters or crash. Zero sugar, zero fillers, zero artificial dyes. Cash in on that 20% off, guys. Really, you don't want to miss out, and check out their limited time flavors as well. But thank you guys so much for tuning into the racing competition. We got freestyle coming at you in just a minute. I'll see you there.